What's up, everybody? Hope you're all doing fantastic. Welcome to the People's Pre-Fight Show. We're getting you ready for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. The card kicks off very, very soon. Of course, the main card on Netflix begins at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be having a watch party, which kicks off at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time. You'll get 4 fights, including Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor 2. That'll be a 10-round co-main event. And then, obviously, the big one, we have Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, and things got pretty damn intense at the final face-off yesterday. It was pretty wild, and things got a little out of control. So I hope you guys can all hear me pretty well. I see some people asking, where's Jed? Jed will be here in a little bit. He'll be here for the watch party, but we wanted to come on here first and get this done. So we're here in Command Center 4.0. We're all set up and ready to go. We have a fancy camera. Unfortunately, we can't use it for this watch party. We will have it for tomorrow night. Just a part didn't align with the new fancy camera. So we're going to stick with what we got to get through tonight, and we shall get it done. So hope you're all doing great. Let's go to the questions. And of course, super chats get top priority. Let's go. The Last Stand. Now that it's fight day, how big does this event feel? It feels friggin' ginormous, to be honest with you. It feels so big. I went to the gym this morning. Men, women, 20-somethings, 60-somethings, people who I never thought even watched fights, to people who might have somewhat interest in fights, all are asking me about it. Every single person in the gym was asking me about it, and it was pretty wild. This fight is huge. It is past as Jed says, the mom test. It is past the public's test, and it is just so big right now. Casey was going to hop in here and do this. He's actually at the stadium right now, and his background is ridiculous, but it was just too loud. We couldn't get him in, but it just feels so big. Casey said on the UFC 309 preview show that he's been covering fights forever, and he says this one is definitely in his top 5 in regards to how big a fight feels. So yeah, I think this is huge. I think this will be, I've been saying this from Jump Street, and I definitely believe it now. This will be the most viewed fight of all time, without question. It will be the most viewed fight of all time. We'll never get the actual numbers, but there's no doubt in my mind that millions and millions and millions of people are going to watch this. So there you go. What would be funnier, Tyson knocking out Paul or Miocic knocking out Jones? Oh, it's Stipe by a mile. I mean, Tyson knocking out Jake Paul would be pretty crazy, and it would be, I mean, it would be objectively funny, but nothing would be funnier than Stipe knocking out John Jones. That watch party reaction, if Stipe wins this fight, will be absolutely insane, and we will laugh forever. I actually went back because I wanted to compare it to something. Like, what would this compare to? And we talked about this on BTL. Sean Strickland beating Israel Adesanya for the middleweight title at UFC 293 was hilarious. We had such a great time with it. The post-fight show was just me, Jed, and Shaheen laughing because not only did Sean Strickland just thump up Izzy after getting the knockout of the year against Alex Pereira and exercising the demons and all of that, but at the same time, it just ruined all of the UFC's plans. And that to me was so funny. And if John Jones, after all of this and all of the Aspinall, I'm not fighting you, to I'd rather fight Alex Pereira, to this, that, and the other thing, even mentioning Jamal Hill out of nowhere, which I thought was crazy. And then have 42-year-old Stipe Miocic off of a 4-year layoff go in there and knock out John Jones. That would be the funniest thing. Goes to seeing them grinding all day. Hell yeah. It's been a time. Keep the questions coming. Is this the biggest fight of all time? It will be the most watched fight of all time. Feel pretty confident about that. So I guess to some extent, it will be the biggest fight of all time. It's definitely up there. Let's see what else you got. I need some cash. Can't help you there. Aloha to you. We got Stipe will knock out John Jones. That would be pretty, that'd be excellent. Jake is winning. Yeah, seeing like all the takes on this, a lot of people think like Tyson's just going to go in there and rip Jake apart. And I'm trying to tell people like, I don't know. If Mike don't rip Jake apart with sheer fight IQ, it's rigged 100%. It's not rigged. It might not be fully on the up and up. Like, I don't think these two guys are going to go in there. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the slap changed everything last night. But, and who knows like how planned that all was. But my prediction is that this is going to be like a step and a half above a hard spar, where I think this will kind of look like Tyson versus Jones. Tyson's going to throw some big shots, some big crosses. He's going to do the things that Tyson made Tyson famous, made him such like a ruthless fighter, but I don't think he's going to give it his all. And maybe Jake just kind of moves around and just is the younger guy and jabs around a lot, jabs and moves around and just uses his movement and just kind of out-youths him to a point where he cruises to, a somewhat competitive decision, but Mike doesn't get hurt. That is the best I think we can hope for here. But obviously if Mike goes in there and even at 58 knocks out Jake Paul, I will be stunned if that happens. I will truly be stunned if that is what transpires tonight. But he's 58. He's 58. I was there. I was 5 feet away. Well, not 5 feet. I was like 12 feet away from when 58-year-old Evander Holyfield fought Vitor Belfort. I was there for that, and I got a lot of the same comments. Fortunately, Mike Tyson looks better physically than Evander Holyfield, because I remember that whole fight week interviewing Evander, watching his open workout. It was tough to watch, but Evander just kept saying, like, look, he's a UFC fighter. I'm a boxer. Doesn't matter what the open workouts look like. When we get in the ring, it's going to be different. And it wasn't. Vitor just clobbered him and knocked him out. And it was one of the saddest things I've ever seen. So Mike at least hit pads better. Holyfield looked incredible physically for that fight. I was like blown away by how in shape he was. But 58, man, it's just a big age gap. And Mike hasn't had a professional fight in 2 decades. He had the Jones fight like 4 years ago, but I don't know. Tyson winning by KO would be funny. Stipe winning by KO would be deserved. Okay. Fair. What's the attendance supposed to be tonight? I don't really know. I bet it's going to be like 40 to 50,000. I know they kept dropping ticket prices. Then they were kind of going back up. It's like, I think the cheapest ticket got down to like $65 and then it went back up to like 130. The thing about these Jake Paul fights, and I've covered a bunch of them, is you'll oftentimes go on Twitter or social media and you'll see somebody post a screenshot of a ticket map and you'd be like, wow, look at how many tickets are left for this fight. But then you get into the arena and you see how packed it is. Now, I don't think they're going to sell out AT&T Stadium with this event, but I think they'll put 50,000 asses in the seats. Someone's getting DQ'd. Jake going to sleep. What do you think the main event will be for UFC 310 if you had to guess? I'm going to leave that alone. I think I know what it is, but I cannot say. So there you have it. Dana said he's going to announce it today. So I can assure you, we have something written and ready to go for when that announcement comes. There are certain details about it that I'm not 100% clear on yet, but it's just kind of the way it works. In your opinion, who's going to win? I will say Jake Paul is going to win. I think Jake's going to win, and I hope it's the way that I envisioned it, and it's the way I'm knocking on wood about it, which I just mentioned. Goes in there. Mike has his moments, looks like classic Mike, looks like vintage Mike, but doesn't go full bore, and Jake doesn't go full bore either. Just moves around and jabs him a bunch and just stays away. And Mike gets a little tired, a little winded, and then Jake just kind of cruises to a decision, but it's still kind of fun to watch. That's what I'm hoping for, but we'll see. Thank you, Harmon. Where's heck of a morning? We need bodies. Mike Tyson versus Mike Perry next? I don't know about that. I would assume Mike's going to be fighting for BKFC again next. There's reports that there's a card coming up in Philly in January. I'm told it's not like 100% done, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen. So I think Mike should probably fight on that card. What else we got? Mike Tyson is older than Ken Shamrock when he fought Kimbo Slice. Put that into perspective. It's kind of tough, man. Look, at the same time, I feel icky about it, but I will say something that I don't say all that often. I agree with Jake Paul. Jake Paul has said from the get-go, look, we're not Mike's dad. If Mike wants to fight and make millions of dollars, then it's his choice to do it. And they found a commission that will allow this to do it in Texas, which is pretty smart. Trust me, I've written a lot of articles about the Texas Commission, and they're kind of inept at certain things. So, yeah, this is kind of the place to do it. And I don't know. Oh, I already saw that one. I think Jake wins between rounds 3 and 5. Possible. How long till the fight starts, bro? Prelims are starting soon, I believe. The main card starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. And right now, Tyson and Paul are expected to walk. Well, it's approximate 10:30, 11-ish Eastern time. So we'll see. Thank you. The last day. Dana said if Jones retires, Tom will be promoted to heavyweight champion. Thoughts on this? Yeah, he should be. I'm so curious. Like, if John wins, I'm so curious what he does. What is he going to say on the microphone? Is he going to call out Tom? Is he going to retire? Is he going to take a hiatus and see if Tom can get himself really, really over? Or is he just going to call it Alex Pereira? Or what I've been saying is the most heel thing he could do is be like, all right, Tom, come in here. And they pretend to do a face-off, and then John just hands him the belt and says, you want this so bad? There you go. And then he just calls out Alex Pereira. That'd be pretty wild. 58 is a new 20. Feels like this is going to look like Chael versus Anderson. This will not look like Chael versus Anderson. I don't think. I think it'll look more like Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. That's what I'm hoping for. Mike, I'm with Jed and I have had the same thoughts about this fight. Our biggest concern is that Mike is going to be in a building with 50,000 people. He's going to have this amazing walkout. It's going to feel like WrestleMania in there. And then Jake's going to come out and he's going to hear the roar of the crowd and all that. And then it's just going to bring back old nostalgic feelings within him. And he's going to go in there and punch Jake real hard. And then Jake's going to have to be like, all right, I guess I have to fight this dude. And then it could get real weird. So I don't think it's going to look like Chael and Anderson. I really don't. Just got here. Did anyone mention why the purse is what it is? Why 40 million for Paul and 20 million for Tyson? Shouldn't it be the other way around? P.S. I hope Tyson doesn't knock him out in the first punch. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea whether or not this is true or not. And by the way, like if we look at state commissioned purses, they're usually not wholly accurate, if that makes sense. There's always, I don't know. There's all these different things. 20 million is not bad from Mike. It's not a bad payday. I bet he's making a touch more than that, though, would be my guess. Put respect on Evander's name. Look, Evander is one of the greatest ever, but he should not have been fighting Vitor Belfort. And I knew kind of after, deep down, even though my fight week coverage was, hey, I believe Evander. He's the boxer. When he says I'm a boxer and he's not, I'm not going to give it my all at open workout. I just, I guess the positive attitude in me was like, all right, I guess I believe him. But deep down, I knew this man should not even be fighting. They moved the entire event across the country for that specific reason, because no one else would sanction that fight. They weren't going to sanction Evander Holyfield to get in there at 58 years old. And the other big issue was Vitor Belfort has never recovered from that win, ever. Nothing big came from that. That fight week, I remember asking Vitor Belfort after his open workout. It was right after the Jake Paul Tyron Woodley 1 fight. And I asked him what he thought about it. It was competitive. Was he impressed? And he was like, how dare you compare me to those guys? They're a joke. Jake Paul, all that. He doesn't belong in the sport. And what does Vitor Belfort do after he knocks out Evander Holyfield? He calls out Jake Paul. And that was it. He was done after that. Will tonight have a major impact on women's boxing? Serrano versus Taylor 2 will have the most eyes on women's boxing of all time. And if they could deliver like their first fight, just what would that do? I think it would be awesome. A lot of people have been bringing up the fact that the most real fight, like the best fight of the weekend, and this includes the UFC card, is this Taylor Serrano fight. And a lot of people feel like it's unfortunately flying way under the radar. And I get it. I definitely get it. But at the same token, for that, exactly that, because of what Tyson and Jake are bringing to all of this, more people are going to watch them two fight. And these women have the opportunity to not only help themselves in a big way, but help women's boxing in a big way. If they go out there and just battle it out and they have another incredible war, fight of the year contender, that's absolutely massive for the sport. It's massive for them. And we'll see. Do we know if there are any stipulations in Tyson's contract, like with Woodley's, i.e. no more than 3 punch combination? I don't know if that's even true. A lot of Tyson fans here. Jake wins. This is actually kind of interesting. How many older retired boxers will come out of quote unquote retirement to want to box Jake after the viewer numbers are released? Doesn't mean that Netflix is going to be on board with it. Like who would it be? Who would you bring out? I don't think Holyfield draws this much attention. Tyson is known by most people. And I know people know Holyfield, but no one wants to see that. So I don't know. It's kind of be interesting if Jake, if this is like a legit, like these two are just going to give it everything they have and beat the shit out of each other kind of a fight, and Jake knocks out Tyson, maybe Canelo does step up. I can't believe I'm saying this, but maybe Canelo's the one that's like, yo, I'll defend boxing against this clown, or whatever we would say. No, I can't hint. Tyson heading. Connor for 310. No. Are you happy with the 310 main event? It's a good one. Does Jake have any crazy stipulations for the fight? No. Jake is not winning. We'll see. Does the 310 fight excite you? It's super interesting. Serrano versus Taylor's the money fight. I'm so excited for that one. Mike has 2 rounds to sit Jake down, or else bad news for Mike. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. Blame the commission. A lot of people saying it's rigged. It ain't rigged, yo. It's not rigged. At least I hope not. Do you know, I don't know if people understand, how bad it is to fix a fight. You're federally fucked if you do that. And no one wants that. Have you heard Aspinall has been banned from the event Saturday? I hope not. He says that he was banned from the press conference, or they wouldn't allow him to go to the press conference. But if they don't let him go to the fight, that is ridiculous. Tyson will knock out Jake Paul. We'll see. What time does this card? I'm not Jed. Main card starts at 8 p.m. Eastern on Netflix. The prelims, I think, start in like 7 minutes. You can actually watch that on MMAfighting.com. You can watch the prelims right there. I don't think it's going to be a long fight. I mean, they are 2-minute rounds, which is good. Jake Paul is officially the A side. I don't know, man. I don't know if he is or not. I really don't know. I think Tyson is like just based on what I see, and no one likes to get into like traffic and website numbers and stuff, but I think Tyson is doing better than Jake, honestly. So, but it just depends on who you look at. Like the 22-year-old person that's into pop culture and things that are cool and trending probably know Mike Tyson from The Hangover, but never have seen him box. But they all know who Jake Paul is from pranks and doing stuff on YouTube or the Disney Channel. So there you go. Aspinall is not banned. He better not be. Have you, Jed, or Casey, or your best friend Alexander Kaylee watched The Cage on Netflix? I haven't yet. How long until the fight? People keep asking. Right now, approximately 10:30, 11 will be the ring walks. But with an event like this, I don't know. I just hope. I don't know what the pacing is going to look like. I don't know how quick it's going to be. The first fight is like an influencer boxer kind of a fight. It's like 6 2-minute rounds. So that could go pretty quick. Then there's a welterweight title fight, but it's a dude who's like a minus 7,000 favorite and is probably going to get a quick knockout. And then we're going to get Serrano Taylor, which is 10 rounds, but they're 2-minute rounds. And then we'll get Tyson and Paul. So I would say probably like 11:15, 11:30 would be my guess, but I honestly don't know. Jake's going to be destroyed by body punches. We'll see. Real money fight is Taylor versus Serrano. Yes, we already put that up there. Rate the 310 main event 1 to 10. I don't know. This is a good one. It's a good fight. I don't know. Again, I'm trying to figure out we're trying to figure out like all the details with all of this, but it's definitely a really interesting fight. Mr. Heck, is this Tyson's toughest test of his life in a boxing ring considering his age? Thanks. I don't know. I have like my hopes on what I hope happens, but I truly don't know what is going to happen. Like if things get out of control and they start like fighting each other and they go full bore, I don't know what's going to happen. But if this is like a true all-out boxing match and they just give it everything they have, I think Mike's got like 3 rounds to win, if that. But he's 58. Like I just can't get that number out of my head. How can I watch prelims? MMAfighting.com. Right there. Just go to the website. You can watch it right there. Sugar Ray Leonard. Yes, prelims are on MMAfighting.com. Parker Porter versus Jake Paul. True good guy versus bad guy. Love that idea. It's a good question, though. Netflix is going to get addicted to those views. Yeah. I mean, look, they're probably making so much money on extra subscriptions for this fight. They got WWE coming. I'm very curious to see how involved they will be in the conversations to acquire. I don't know if they'll get the entire UFC TV rights, but I think they're going to be a player in the TV rights discussion when they start negotiating. So I think Netflix will absolutely be involved. So this is a good litmus test, man. Gotta make Gray looks great. I'm like, thank you. Appreciate you. What's the new UFC 310 main event? You'll see. Mike Tyson brutally KOs Jake Paul in round 1. Is Jake's boxing experiment over for good? Does he transition to PFL? I don't know if it's over for good. Because he can still box KSI, and that's a big deal. There's still fights for Jake. So I don't think so. What else we got? We got a few more minutes. Shady MMA page on Instagram said he's banned from MSG Saturday. No, I think they're getting confused. Tom was on the weigh-in show with DC and Sanko and Dean Thomas, and DC was like, dude, you should have showed up at the press conference. And Tom was like, yeah, I was going to, but they said I couldn't come. So that's where that is. Jake Paul will win. Does 2004 Kevin McBride version of Tyson beat Jake? Gravitate towards yes, maybe. So I remember. Obviously, I watched like a bunch of Tyson fights in the 90s, and yeah, the tail end of his like professional career was pretty sad. But I remember his first fight when after he got out of prison. He fought because I'm from Boston, and I lived in Massachusetts for most of my life before I moved down here to South Carolina a couple of years back. But I remember when Mike Tyson fought Peter McNeely, it was like the biggest deal in the world. And Peter McNeely was a terrific foil because he talked so much shit. He showed up to the first press conference, and at the boxing press conferences, if you're like an MMA fan, you don't have all the fighters on the dais. I mean, the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson one's different, but with these ones, you'd have the promoters come up and talk, and then you'd have each fighter come up and give like an opening statement. And freaking Peter McNeely gets up on the dais, and he's just pulls out a piece of paper, and he's just like, I'm Peter McNeely from Medfield, Mass. On whatever date it was, watch me kick Tyson's ass. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And then, of course, yeah, he got annihilated to nobody's surprise. Mike Aspinall should have taken your advice before the Blades fight. Go on the mic after the win and call out Pereira. Take Jones's meal ticket. You and Jed ought to set up a consultancy firm for fighters. I mean, we're not like, we're wrong. We're definitely wrong. I'm wrong a lot. But man, some of these fighters like need a PR team. And I honestly think like in the end, Tom has actually handled this thing really well. Because I think Tom Aspinall has been the biggest winner of the week. He's the biggest babyface in the UFC right now. His name is mentioned in every single thing John Jones is involved in. Every single thing Dana White is involved in. Tom Aspinall's name has come up. And Tom looks like the sympathetic babyface through all of this. So it's pretty spectacular what has come from this for Tom Aspinall. And it's pretty wild. Either way, man, it's huge. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no. I thought maybe we got the announcement. How's traffic been for Paul Tyson versus Jones Miocic? I mean, not to get bogged down in that stuff, but Paul Tyson by far. Just go and look at like the numbers on social media alone. I think the slap from Mike Tyson has like almost 6 million views on Facebook or something like that. It's crazy. What is the boxing fight to watch outside of the co-main and main event tonight? It's tough because there's like, there's a prelim fight. Let me pull it up. What's his name? Lucas Body. I'm excited to see Lucas Body back. He's fighting a young man by the name of Armando Casamonica, who I don't know. But Lucas Body's the guy that absolutely annihilated H2O Silv. So I'm curious to see what he does. But in regards to like the main card, it's probably the Whindersson Nunes Niraj Goyat fight because I just don't know what's going to happen with it. Mario Barrios, Abel Ramos, like I think we know how that's going to go. It's just going to be a quick annihilation. But this is all about the top 2 fights. All right, I'll take a couple more, then we got to go. Where are the prelims? MMAfighting.com. Is it free to watch on Netflix? If you have a subscription, you can watch it. If you don't want to pay for it, we will have a watch party and at 7:45. We'll tell you what's happening. It's going to be a great time. What do you think is Dana's announcement? What, for 310? I know what it is, but I can't tell you. I don't know if all the details are done yet, but are there only 4 fights total? On the main card, yes. There's 7 fights total. 4-fight main card. Hello, I'm new to this. Could you please tell me about Tyson versus Paul? When will that fight happen and why? Why it's happening? Dollar bills. When is it happening? Tonight. And it's just going to happen. So there you go. Shout out to the Bing Rips. Why is it just 8 rounds? Because that's what they agreed upon. I'm totally fine with it being 8 rounds. To be honest, I don't want to see Mike fight more than 8 rounds. And I'm glad they're 2-minute rounds. So, yeah. But, okay, everybody. I think we're done here. The prelims, I believe, are underway. You can go to MMAfighting.com. It's a great website. And you can watch them right there. The link's right there. You can check it out, hit play, and you will be good to go. I'm going to grab a bite to eat, take a little break. Jed Meshew will be arriving here at Command Center 4.0 for the watch party. We're going double header style. We got one tonight. We got one tomorrow for UFC 309. It's going to be a great time. So join us for the watch party. It's going to be incredible. We'll react to all of it. And by the way, the post-fight show for that is going to be on the same link. So soon as the main event ends, we're going to take like a 5-minute break. And then we're going to get right into the post-fight show and react to everything with all of you guys. So thank you very much. Enjoy the fights. We will see you 7:45 p.m. Eastern time right here on the MMA Fighting YouTube channel for the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson watch party. Let's go. Peace out.